Hello, wrestling fans. You're listening to John Hoppy and William Hoppy, and this is the Wrestling Fans Insight, brought to you by the fans of pro wrestling. William, how's it going today?
Oh, fantastic. Over here at home, living large in charge.
Yeah, this is a little unusual. You over there, I'm over here, but it's because we're getting geared up for a fun event starting Thursday here. So, I know we got a lot of busy things going on, but other than that, were you able to watch as much wrestling as you could this week?
Heavens no. No, not even close. I completely forgot about Saturday night main event.
Oh dear. Well, I guess.
And I can't go back on it.
Oh, you can't.
Not with DirecTV. No.
Oh dear. Do you not have the Peacock network?
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, you'll be able to catch that in the on the replay on the Peacock network then.
All
So,
right. Well,
but yeah,
no, work's been absolutely crazy.
uh,
So,
well, don't worry. Pretty soon here, starting Thursday, we won't have to worry about that for a week. So
y-
it's
yep.
gonna be nice. Oh,
It'd
yeah,
be even nicer to get out of this stupid cold snap.
yes, definitely. I'm so sick of being sick 3 times since Thanksgiving. No, you've caught it a couple times yourself. Yeah.
Yep.
Good evening, Mr. Stampede. Hope you're doing well, brother. But yeah, we got a fun show to bring up here. We're going to talk a little bit here on the update for the cruise Jericho Cruise 6 on the beach. We're also going to be joined a little bit later by our teammate Bryan the Hype Ballard as we get a little more into what we thought of Saturday night's main event and our thoughts on the Royal Rumble for the build up here. So William, without any further ado, why don't we just go ahead and get right to it? Let's go ahead and start off with the Chris Jericho cruise. And I don't know if you've heard the latest updates. Unfortunately, we are not going to have the Nasty Boys on ship anymore. And also, we found out Leo Rush, Action Andretti will also not be taking part. That's kind of some bummer news. However, we did get some great news. We are going to have the grizzled young veterans taking spot of Action Andretti and Leo Rush. Unfortunately, nothing's been replaced for the Nasty Boys. Is their main part was actually going to be set up as doing a kind of being guests for Chris Jericho's uh, Talk is Jericho podcast. Uh, I,
Hello?
can you hear me, William?
Are you there?
Yes. Are you there?
Yeah, I didn't lose connection. It showed on mine that you lost yours.
Oh, that's weird, but no, we're here. Anyways, I don't know if you heard, but we'll kind of go through a take two, I guess. Um, we've got some bummer news that no longer we have the Nasty Boys on the cruise, as well as we do not have Leo Rush or Action Andretti. However, taking the place of Action Andretti and Leo Rush is going to be the grizzled young veterans. Your thoughts on that?
I've never had the chance to see them, whereas you and I have definitely seen the Nasty Boys. So I guess it sucks in one way, but in another, it's going to be nice to be able to see something new.
Okay. Yeah, and see, I watched a lot of the mostly what I watched on the Grizzle Young Veterans was when they were in the NXT, NXT UK as well. But yeah, I wish they had a little more showing here in the AEW Ring of Honor TV. I'm sure we'll be seeing them a little more here as uh as programming progresses. So, but I think we got a really great tag team coming on. Um, Also, with the Outrunners being on board, who knows? Maybe we're going to see a great tag team match between these two, and that would be one hell of a killer night for us. Um, but anyhow, yeah, unfortunately, we found out just like last year, there is going to be some talent that will not be able to join us until we are actually at the island in the excuse me, over at the Dominican Republic. For many that are kind of thinking, Joe Hendry we did find out for sure is going to be one of that talent. So I would probably expect him to be coming up in the Royal Rumble, and we'll talk a little more on that here later in the program. Um, However, just like last year, we had this same issue. Some of the talent that were booked for AEW Collision probably will more than likely not make it until we actually are at the port again. I know that's been one of our biggest frustrations is cruisers on the Jericho cruise. Um, but fear not, folks. When they do join us, we're going to have a grand old time. We're going to get lots of good matches, and they will be anywhere on that ship at any time. So please don't be frustrated. You'll have plenty of time to spend with them. But as a first time rager, Will, your thoughts?
Mostly, you know, for one, I've always wanted to at least do a cruise once in my life. So that's going to be awesome. But based on the schedule and everything that it's showing, it looks like we're going to have a crazy busy time.
Oh, yeah. I know I will at the bar for sure. So
Super happy that Brad Williams is going to be around.
yes, he's not going to miss the Jericho cruise. I guarantee you that.
The unfortunate part is some of the other people that are not going to be on that were scheduled to originally be on, like Coco Beware, Jerry the King Lawler. But the lineup looks absolutely amazing.
Carlos. John gave himself a 6-pack. Yeah, right. Thank you, brother. Tommy Van Mutton Fudge. I'm here because Scott Steiner told me to be here. And that's going to be another fun one. Scott Steiner, I have a gut feeling he may be making an appearance at the Rumble too, and then joining us at the port. Who knows? If you've been following Big Papa Pump's X, he's definitely made a lot of strong hints there, but who knows? Stampede Grizzled Young Veterans just finished up a run as the New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. So, maybe we'll get some picture with the guys in the gold. You never know. We had that pleasure when Will Ospreay was on Triple Whammy with us when he was the IWGP Heavyweight Champion at that time. But I think there was some controversy there at that moment. But anyhow, anyways, in strong, fear not, Jericho Cruisers. We are going to have a grand old time. Just be patient. When they say we do have talent booked, they will be there. But shall we kind of get a little more toward the build of the Royal Rumble and Saturday night's main event here? And we're going to bring in our good old buddy, Bryan the Hype Ballard. Bryan, how are you? Oh, no microphone.
I was waiting for the Rumble countdown, right? Like the little meter. Yeah, I'm doing good, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Really good.
So,
I'm Rumble ready, man.
Nice. Did you have a good week overall?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Good. So, before we get into the Royal Rumble, let's talk a little bit about the Saturday night's main event last night. I thought it was a really well-balanced card for what it was. It was your typical Saturday night main event, like what you would see back in the, late 80s, early 90s. Your overall thoughts?
For me, Saturday night's main event, they do a good job with these new ones, blending the old with the new. Even the drop-down microphone from the ceiling, giving it that nostalgic feel. And, it's what I like to call enhancement programming, right? It's not meant to be a PLE or a big WrestleMania, right? It's meant to enhance the programs that are being told. And who doesn't like an extra, hour and 30 minutes of wrestling content on the weekend? So,
right. And, that was one of the biggest gripes I keep seeing on the IWC is it's not a stack card. It didn't feel like a PLE. It felt like a televised live event. And I think many people don't realize that's what it exactly was. I mean, back then we did not have Monday Night Raw like the matches we see. We did not have Friday Night SmackDown, the matches types you see. Back then we had Superstars, Wrestling Challenge, and maybe, you know, the recorded matches that you would see on primetime Monday nights when Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were right there, you know, giving us updates on storylines and whatnot. You know, Saturday Night Main Event was the basically like your combination of SmackDown and Raw, where you had the top talent facing each other that you don't normally see on the other weekly programming. Um, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, and it was like you said, it was that extra enhanced that content to watch on a Saturday night. It felt like a big deal. And if you were like me, everything was back on pay-per-view back then, so you had to watch it on Scramble on the pay-per-view channel, right? Because your parents aren't coughing up that money to pay for the pay-per-view. So, you know, it were like, I think I can hear what's going on. So, I mean, for Saturday night, you know, usually the parents are in bed by that point. And the kids are staying up late watching it and jumping off the couch cushions and reenacting everything. So it was a good time.
And our teammate Stampede, Saturday night's main event, made for a great compliment to the Collision show. Both shows delivered in what they set out to do. And I have to agree with him to a point. I can't really say for Collision because I did not have a chance to watch it yet, as I actually just barely returned from a bowling tournament over the weekend. So I'm going to have to go back and watch it. But from what I'm seeing,
you missed a killer Collision.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I saw the typical tribalism negativity, but for the most part, everybody said Collision was really fantastic. I saw bits and pieces of the Tony Storm ending of this Tony Storm and Mariah May scene, so I can't wait to go back and watch that. But yeah, I thought it was a nice tribute at the Saturday night's main event where they did the Okerlund position. I mean, that was a great tribute to Gene Okerlund. I love seeing Jesse the Body Ventura. It's always great to see that part of nostalgia, you know, him being a part of the original Saturday night's main event. Overall, I thought the matches delivered really great. I thought Jey Uso definitely shined in his match with Gunther. I thought Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, while in some ways to me didn't really make the kind of sense because, you know, the whole draft thing drives me nuts because they never even stick to it. Why bother with it? But overall, I still think Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley delivered a great opening match. As far as the Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, man, Bryan, what a bloody mess that turned out to be.
You know, in that matchup, one, I did enjoy the women's opening match. I thought that those two just work well together. Their styles work well. But to go to where you're going with the Jacob Fatu, they're building the modern day Umaga right there, right? Like, and I'm like, yeah, Braun Strowman is the one that almost needs to help him get to that point. And, you know, he's a big giant and, you know, he's going to be the giant killer in a sense. So and I like that they didn't have a solidified finish to the match, you know, and that it's going to lead to more. I could see, you know, one of them eliminating each other in the Rumble even.
And, you know, the funny part about that is, like you mentioned, giant killer. Yeah, I mean, this guy he is a beast. He's almost kind of like the Samoan version of Brock Lesnar there. And I think and he's just getting started, folks. I mean, I think we're going to see great things for Jacob Fatu in his future here with the WWE.
One of the things I see with him too is, for me personally, it doesn't take a lot to buy into him. Like, you know, some characters you watch and you're like, okay, let me see what they're going for here. Let me see what they're kind of trying to do. With him, you're like, man, I'm just bought in and watching and wanting to see the little Tasmanian devil-like syndrome on steroids that's happening. And he's just tearing up everything. And I'm believing it very easily that he is that crazy guy. So I enjoy that.
Stampede, the result to the match was likely done to try and make Braun look like a credible threat. So that instance, it worked. And I agree with him. If anybody followed Braun Strowman's X account, he said, you should have put me down while you had the chance. And something tells me we're going to see something really killer here during the Royal Rumble event with these two gentlemen. I guess gentleman's kind of the light term for it. But anyhow, yeah, overall, I thought great matches. Why don't we, well, let's also talk about that segment between Cody and KO. I thought it was a good little bit of a showcasing there. Shawn Michaels, or is, what is it Carlos calls Shawn Michaels? I can't remember.
Oh, Chad Frost, right?
Yeah, Chad Frost. Chad Frost getting that sweet chin music on KO right there at the very end. I thought it was a pretty good showing for the showstopper himself. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
At first, I thought he was when he started speaking. I was like, "Oh, Shawn is so good at putting himself over, right?" and he's the closer of the night, and then he did a good job stepping back right after that. So
right.
he did a good job. At first, I was like, "Oh, Shawn's going to steal the show," and kind of, but then he just kind of said, "Okay," and let them do the work, and I was proud of him for that.
Most definitely. So, with that being said, now we got kind of the thing coming up to the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, we're not going to be here live next week. I'm hoping maybe we'll talk with Bryan and we'll get something set up. But if not, we figured we might as well get this in now. As far as the Royal Rumble, I think this one I can with certainly say this is the most uncertain Royal Rumble we have seen in probably the last few years. The reason I say that is because we just saw Tiffany Stratton cash in her Money in the Bank, taking the championship off Nia Jax. Rumor is possibly Charlotte Flair may be coming in and they're looking to work a match between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton for WrestleMania. Would you think that's probably one of the strong possibilities? Charlotte Flair may become the first woman to win the Royal Rumble multiple times.
Yeah, Will, did you want to go?
I think it's extremely likely. She's been away long enough. They're going to have to get somebody that's really kind of at the same level, if not higher, than Tiffany Stratton, and that person would be Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I'm with you on that as well. I think, I think Charlotte is going to come out, and I think Stratton and Flair kind of makes sense. I think that's just what their end game is. Will people like it? I think it'll be split, right? You're going to have the people that are for and against. But either way, I think the WWE is going to look at that as they want star power. And anytime you can add the name Flair, even if it's Charlotte or Rick, right? You can add that Flair name to a WrestleMania card. It's going to get some eyeballs that are the casual viewers. So, and then they'll see, that's the daughter. But I think that's just as marketing and a smart move for them to do, especially with a young talent like Tiffany, who's in her first championship reign. On the main roster, I should say.
Nope. I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to throw in a little bit there. Bryan, last week you took part in a really special project, and I was very honored to be your moderator for that. Do you think maybe your little interview last week, maybe making a surprise into the Rumble there?
Yeah. One, thank you for all the help you helped me with gathering that and being the wizard behind the curtain. But I'm going to say I am going to cheer for number 13 in the Women's Royal Rumble. All right. And whatever that may be. But, Layla, I got to interview, former WWE Women and Divas champion on Tap Out Talk. And, one of the things I asked her was kind of alluding to that. And then this week she posted that number 13 feels lucky, right? Which was alluding to our interview and conversation. And then I commented on her and I said, okay, I feel like I just lived through deja vu. And then she commented back, yes, you did. Haha. And I was like, okay, I'm getting trolled now. So I'm either being severely worked by Layla or there was a little something and I may have asked the right question. And I may clip that and post that this week. That way people could see that little quick clip.
And if you guys are not following it, definitely go check out Bryan's Tap Out Talk on YouTube. Again, last week he did a recorded interview with Layla L there, and she had a lot of great answers to all of Bryan's questions. So, and Bryan did a very fantastic job with it. And she also appeared on quite a few of our fellow colleagues' or well, fellow podcasters shows as well. So I have a strong suspicion we may be seeing number 13 come into play here. So, as far as the men's Royal Rumble match, though, to me, this kind of feels like it could be anyone's game. And Will, do you have any maybe suspects who would possibly be the winning this one?
Right now, it's really kind of anybody's guess. I mean, I'm not expecting either champion to be changing titles anytime soon. If they did at WrestleMania, I'd be a little bit surprised. But as much as it might irritate people, I would say maybe Roman Reigns.
Oh, good choice. Bryan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it is good anybody's. And that's one of the things I love about the Royal Rumble is it's the most unpredictable match typically, right? Because it's not just one outcome that could happen. And even if they have an outcome, they could change it easily, right? So for me, I think right now I'm down to 2 winners. I mean, a few weeks ago, you could not have talked me out of CM Punk winning it. I feel like John could have a chance as well, John Cena. I'm going to give you guys a fun fantasy booking idea here. And I don't think this is my official prediction at all, but I just entertained the idea of this. And I feel like, you could use this Rumble instead of building an older star, you could use this to build the future star. And then what I mean by that is I would have it down to the final where possibly an LA Knight or somebody like that could win. And then The Rock pulls his corporate card and comes out and signs himself up for number 31 for the first time ever and comes in and maybe even knocks out LA Knight and takes his Royal Rumble spot for a title, right? And I think they could do something like that and it still builds an LA Knight. And then that could lead into an Elimination Chamber match. That could lead into a couple other things. But it gives us a chance to plant the seed to chase the title with a guy like LA Knight. I think he would be a great fit for winning something like that right now, just to build him and not, kind of bounce down into the mid card. And so it would be intriguing. I'm not saying he should be in the main event of Mania, but I could see the Rumble being used as an opportunity for fun. So again, not my official prediction, but anybody like that, I think they could use. And it'd be almost too easy to give it to a veteran at this point, but give it to that guy that's that perimeter guy.
Going back on Stampede's earlier comment, Cena advertised for the Chamber, so he's likely to win that. So I don't think it for him for the Rumble, and he would draw Cody. Punk likely draws Roman at Mania, and I would say Logan Paul wins the Rumble and challenges Gunther. There's a few possibilities there.
Logan Paul has the eyes on the product outside of the WWE fan base, right? He gives that casual that I talked about. So, yeah, I mean, there's an argument to be made for that.
And, anything can happen. I mean, we've seen Logan Paul win the United States Championship. Again, he makes really impressive showings every time he appears in a WWE event. Whether you like the guy or not on a personal level, you can't deny the fact that he performs at a level that he shouldn't be, as Triple H has said many a times in the media scrums or the post-show conference, whatever you want to call them anymore. But yeah, Logan Paul definitely wouldn't be a bad choice to win the Rumble. I think the final 3 eventually we'll probably end up seeing Cena, Punk, or Roman. And again, it can be anybody's game. Like I said, this to me feels like it's one of the most unpredictable ones. And I know a lot of the experts will say, oh, I knew so-and-so was going to win, but no, you don't. Sorry. There's no way you can for sure tell this one's going to happen. But William, as you and I talked about earlier on the Chris Jericho segment, Joe Hendry not going to be jumping ship until we hit the Dominican Republic. Obviously, he's booked for one of the Comic-Cons or whatever events out there. Obviously, Joe Hendry's going to make a spot in the Rumble. Your thoughts?
You know what? I'm okay with it. Just I don't want to hear the music. So
Well, you know you're going to have to hear it on the ship, right?
I'm fully freaking aware.
It's so catchy, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you not like Joe Henry's song or montage?
It's just too tacky to me.
I was singing it at work and not realizing I was singing it. I was walking around. I'm like, what am I singing? And I'm like, oh, it's Joe Hendry.
Yeah, we do that at work all the time. Me and one of my fellow colleagues is also a big time pro wrestling fan. He goes, I cannot believe how much that theme sticks in my head. I said, yeah, Joe Hendry, he may not be like the most top performer in wrestling, but he is the most entertaining and definitely knows how to catch fans' eyes and ears. So, but as far as anything else, oh, sorry. I keep forgetting to look at the comments. Hendry likely shows at the Rumble, especially after winning TNA title. I'd watch for a few guys and gals from TNA in the Rumble matches. Yeah, I suspect with the new partnership announced, well, not new, but the multi-year partnership that's been announced between TNA and WWE, I'm sure we are going to definitely see a lot more TNA talent appear in these Rumbles. Mustafa Ali just recently went back to TNA also. Well, that's pretty awesome for Ali. Glad that happened.
In this Rumble, I feel like Jacob Fatu is going to be the throw everybody out of the ring guy. You know how there's always that guy that gets a lot of eliminations. I feel like he's going to be the guy that's going to get that kind of a little mini push there this year. What do you guys think that could be?
I think he could be the one that breaks Kane's records. I think Kane still holds the record for most eliminations throughout all Royal Rumbles, doesn't he?
I believe he does. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure Stampede will correct me on that here in a couple minutes.
He's our stats guy. He's on it. I know he is.
Yeah. I believe Kane still holds the record for most eliminations, but if not, if as long as Jacob Fatu stays healthy and things keep working out great between him and the WWE, yeah, I possibly could see him break that record, and he definitely would be deserving. Omos is also on his way back from Noah after giving up his tag title, so I expect him in the Rumble. Yeah, I remember seeing that on X as well.
Where is Heather when we need her?
I was going to say Heather's most favorite talent ever making his comeback to the Royal Rumble. And who knows, maybe he'll be the one to main event WrestleMania just to piss her off. Sorry, Heather. We love you. Hope you're getting better there at the hospital. As far as any surprises, both on the men and the women's side of the Royal Rumble, Bryan, you have any thoughts or any predictions on who could be some good surprises this year?
Yeah, I think ironically, I think it's easier to do on the women's side because there's so many legends that you could have in, and it wouldn't necessarily take away from who's going to win, right? On the guys' side, I feel like it's so stacked, and I mean, I guess you can call the Joe Hendrys and all them surprises technically, right? But they're not, because we're kind of expecting that at this point. As far as legends, there is one All Fantasy book here that I would like to see. I think it would be nice to maybe have William Regal have an entrance and possibly, maybe even his son, right? And then maybe there can be a quick little interaction there. But I think it would almost be fitting to have William Regal in this year's Rumble briefly as a, guest legend entrant. So I guess that could be something I would book.
William?
I have to agree with Bryan. I think it's going to be easier for the surprise to happen with the women's Rumble. I would actually prefer to see a few of the NXT talent show up in this Rumble. As far as the men's, I'm just going to be the casual fan on this and just watch.
Who would you like to see if you get one wish?
Really? Just one?
They call you up and they say, Will, we got an extra spot. Who do you want us to throw in there?
Wardlow.
Okay. Oh, that'd be people would pop, wouldn't they?
As long as we don't do the Goldberg chant, yeah, we'll be fine. Stampede saying Jordan Grace is almost a lock for the Rumble match. I would hope so. I mean, she's already made an appearance before. I want to one up that, Ryan, for the women. I would definitely love to see Masha Slamovich come into the Royal Rumble. She has been killing it, not just in TNA, but GCW. I believe she has done a few appearances in Prestige as well. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe even some of the WWE ID talent in there as well. You know, like Kylie Ray. I don't know why I keep forgetting her name. The Bailey Light in some ways. Bailey Hugger Light. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Will. Wardlow is still injured, also under contract. That is happening. One wish from the NXT roster, Stephanie Vakir. Yeah, I would love to see her in there. Same with Julia. But yeah, I would love to see some of the ID talent get into the Rumble as well as a surprise. And hopefully they'll get some good reaction from the fans on top of that.
Well, let me throw this idea out there too. Maybe for a Rumble, has a tag team ever entered as one entrant, but both get in? So something to maybe keep an eye on. That might be fun.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen tag team enter 1 and 2 before, but not as one.
As maybe lucky number 13. Who knows?
Yeah, that's kind of a different thing there.
So,
because we've seen it with Demolition, Action Smash. I can't remember what year it was. I want to say it was either 89 or 90, if I remember right. Nice moment if they want to go outside the box. Izzy Moreno, yeah, she's been killing it. That. Yeah. But as far as the men, I mean, it's already given Joe Hendry's going to be in there, but I wouldn't mind seeing Alex Hammerstone maybe come in there, but I think he's injured as well, if I remember right. But I definitely would love to see, if anybody else comes in there, I would love to see Josh Alexander come in and make a statement at the Rumble. I think he could do some wonders in that ring with a lot of the talent, both on the WWE and NXT level. As far as what we're going to see with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship, you guys have any particular one you would think is going to walk out as champion? We'll start with Will on that.
Like I said before, it's just not time to take the title off of him, so it's going to be Cody.
All right. Bryan?
Yeah, my prediction will be Cody. Cody is going to be the drawing power into the Mania. I've enjoyed, I'm going to say this, Kevin Owens has been my favorite feud for Cody since he's won the title. And I've enjoyed this work he's done with him. And bringing back the Winged Eagle was a way to allow Kevin Owens to portray championship, carry that thing around, gave him a little taste of that main event. He is a main eventer, but right now it's Cody's time, and I don't believe he's going to be the one that brings Cody down and takes him out before the Rumble.
Okay. I'm thinking it's going to definitely be Cody, mainly because I think there's going to be a story told, whoever his opponent is. And also, I think WWE is kind of going the direction to try to have their world champions to have much longer runs, especially at the 1 year mark. Unfortunately, we didn't see that with the World Heavyweight Championship yet. But I think we're just getting slowly into those types of title reigns to have the titles have those types of prestiges. Also, I'm not sure if it was finalized yet, but it's looking like the WWE Tag Team Championships are going to be on the line, possibly 2 out of 3 falls match. Team DIY, the champions, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, will be defending against the Motor City Machine Guns. If that match will happen, Bryan, your thoughts?
I'm going to go with Motor City Machine Guns. I think this is their time to shine, and I think we're just going to see them, just run the next year, right? At least that's who I want to win. I like DIY. This is going to be a fun matchup, and if you could throw two tag teams that could entertain us for 2 out of 3 falls, it's definitely these two. So I'm excited to see what they put together.
Right. And, 2 out of 3s is always a hard thing to do, especially keeping the fans' attention. So, and, it's funny because these two teams are actually veteran tag teams. So, if anybody can pull it off, these 4 guys can. And really, even being as at their age, I hate to call them old, but at their age, they still actually move around in that ring pretty good. So I think they'll give us very steady paced action and they'll, for those who've been following Motor City Machine Guns all throughout outside WWE, this is their chance to really get a good feel of how action will be with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. William, your thoughts on the tag team match?
Okay. This one I'm extremely torn on just because I don't want to see either one of these teams lose. They're both excellent teams. But I do think that Motor City Machine Guns might have a little less time left in their future. So I do believe it'll be them.
All right. And I think DIY, they're definitely going to retain this championship against them. I'm not sure why they had such a short reign to throw it on the bloodline and then just pass the buck. But if anybody definitely has earned that long reign, those two have. But now that we're kind of getting right through it, any kind of final thoughts as far as going into the Rumble? We'll start with William.
I think this is probably going to be one of the most loaded Royal Rumbles we've seen in a long time. So really, I'm just excited to see where it goes with it. The only cruddy part is that we aren't going to be able to watch it as it happens.
Yeah, that's going to be the unfortunate part, but at least we'll catch up at the airport. So, Bryan?
I'm going to be excited. This, like I said before, this is my favorite event of the year. A night where just it can go any direction, anything can happen, and they're always putting some fun production into it. Even if you think for the years, whether it's a legend appearance, whether it's a Kofi escape, right? There's always something fun they add to this. You could have R-Truth come out and try to cash in something. He climbs a ladder, looks for the Money in the Bank briefcase, right? We always have so much fun with the Rumble, and so I just looking forward to it. And then this is going to flip that switch to give us a lot of clarity to WrestleMania, which we all want and we've all been talking about. And usually we have it by time January ends, but we're going to get that here in February.
All right. We're going to wrap it up here with some shout outs and some with our social media and follows and all that. Be sure to follow us on X. You can follow me at WFI Pod, William at William Hoppy 8, and Brian Ballard at the Brian Adkins. Be sure to go check out our webpage. It's still kind of in construction on some things as I'm trying to get it more update and more organized. But go check it out at www.thefansofprowrestling.com. You can also follow our YouTube channel at Wrestling Fans Insight, as well as Brian's Tap Out Talk. And we're also on Twitch at the Fans of Pro Wrestling. Also, be sure to go check out Carlos and Stampede on X Space every Monday and Wednesday, or every once in a while they'll have to adjust the schedule due to Carlos's work schedule. Go follow Carlos at C to the LOS 77 and Stampede at David ROBER 7174. Be sure to check them out when they're going to do their spaces. Stampede also does a really fantastic job doing his top 10 or top 20 list in many different types of categories. He's also watches just about every form of pro wrestling out there. So if you want to know what's going on and aren't able to keep up or don't have the means to be able to watch everything, that's your guy right there to go find some great information. Also, go check out and participate in the X community at the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network. Check it out under the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network profile at FOPW Network. And we also have a group chat. If you go check out Carlos or Stampede on the X app as well, just get with them on what it takes to go join in on the fun. And also want to give some shout outs to Jim over at Fan in the Van. He's always retweeting our program every time we release it. Same with the DWE group there on the X platform. They do a wonderful job doing spaces almost every day, if not twice a day some days. So be sure to go check them out, especially Miami the Great, the Final Boss Lady, EVP CJ. They do some fantastic stuff there. Bryan, do you want to have any shout outs to give?
Yeah, you hit a lot of great ones there, so I won't double on that. But I do want to say thank you to Layla for the interview and for the great conversation we had. And she's going to be having a podcast launching in February called Lay Talk. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And I am grateful for that opportunity to talk with her and, to really just have a good conversation. I look forward to doing more work with them.
William, do you have any shout outs?
I don't know why you even bother asking me that anymore.
I figured maybe one day you'll have something.
I'm not around enough to be able to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a couple more I want to give out. We're also a part of the Sport Coin Network. Bryan and I and Carlos, I think Carlos is a part of it now as well. We've become Sport Coin certified. Go check them out at SportCoin1 on X and see how well they've been getting into the crypto market if you're into cryptocurrency. We're also a part of the Saged Up Network with Sage Alvarez. So be sure to go check out his network out as well. He has a lot of different guys that produces a lot of content. And sorry, dry throat. Also at SportCoin, they also have a lot of great sports content creators out there as well. My apologies. But anyways, we're going to wrap it up. We hope you all have a great week. We'll keep you updated if anything happens for next Sunday. For Bryan, William, and myself, have a great day, everyone.